to escape. People said you're old. When you're walking on the moon, walking on the moon, chase your happy place. Will change your groove when you're dancing on the moon, dancing on the moon. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some levels that I've never been. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some places that I've never been. When we dance again, that I've never been, that I've never been, that I've never, ever, never, ever, 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 never been.
Walking on the moon.
One moment to escape. People said you're old. When you're walking on the moon,
Walking on the moon.
chase your happy place. Will change your groove when you're dancing on the moon, dancing on the moon. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some levels that I've never been. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some places that I've never been. When we dance that I've never been, that I've never been, that I've never, 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 never been.
you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the I'm sick of fighting the things that you said. I don't wanna burn all our bridges ahead. I'm tired of going to bed when you left me on red just to turn up the noise in my head. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the putting in the
Photo of you in my mind, on the table under lights. There's no one here but you and I. This neon town is yours and mine. And I said, hey, Carissa, stayed up through the days and night, laying we watched the world get light. Hey, Carissa, sunlight, freedom in your eyes. Please don't leave now.
On my mind.
What up, climbers? Welcome to the grid. It's F. Dot. I'm back. It's me. Hello. I'm Rise from the Grave, and I'm joined here by my favorite zombies, Dreadnought and Turtle.
Ooh.
Turtle, how you been, man?
Ooh, I'm just happy to have you back, man. I kept calling Dreadnought F Dot because
He
you guys
did.
have the same sounding name. So it's nice to have, if I say F Dot on accident, you can just respond for him. You know what I mean? So I think we're safe.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I feel the love. Dread. How are you? Dreadnought and I have just been talking for like an hour at this point.
Yeah.
So like, how you doing, man?
I'm third wheeling at this point.
You are a little bit. No, I'm doing well. Excited to be here as always. Always a good time with you guys. Just ready to see the games unfold.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. You see a couple of people in the chat already saying we need a Creams intro. Well, guess what? This week is your Creams intro. We're going to see Creams play today,
Oh.
which is going to be fun, Turt.
Yes, sir.
Turt?
We're gonna get
Remind me
the
not to call you
legendary
Turt again.
Turt.
It's just
Everybody
Turtle.
calls me that, but we've got Cream
That's so
subbing
weird.
in. It's Percy's birthday. Happy birthday to Percy, but Creams will be subbing in replace of Percy. And we've had, Cream subbing before. We had a week 9 sub in before. He played well, so I mean, there's a lot to expect still for the Alpine boys.
Absolutely. I love I'm subscribed to Creams because I'm that type of Alpine degenerate.
Okay.
And so he's got the super sub emote. As you can see, me and Fartwater put it in chat. It looks great. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. But making it here to we're here day 2 of the grid, different format, turnaround. So I'm excited to see how things are going to work out. Dread, I wasn't here yesterday. Fill in the blanks for me. How'd it go?
It's hard to give you a one-word answer on that. The answer, when you look at the numbers and kind of just the raw results, you would say a little bit on a downward trend, purely from the fact that we lost all of the series. But considering the opponents between G2, Ghost, and Pittsburgh Knights and the results out from the regionals, I feel like they were far more competitive losses than we would have experienced against at least 2/3 of those teams into the regionals. So I walk away going with, I feel like we saw a lot of heart and hustle out on the pitch, and I think that was really, really important and something that's definitely going to be needed today. So overall, I would consider it a win like that. But again, just purely off results, you would definitely say a bit of a struggle bus there yesterday.
Little rough. Gotta pick it up here. And that's one of the nice things about having Cream's board is that, like, we always call him the hard carry, and well, that might be a push with great players on the team like Magic Bear and Jordan, etc. He's a capable sub, which is a weird thing in esports. Usually you put your sub in and you go, okay, we lose. Turtle's nodding like he's been in that position before. But like, I've got faith in Creams in our ability. We've won games with Creams on the field.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Creams has stepped up to the plate when we need it, and he's one of those players who I know is very active with the roster. He definitely plays, in his free time with the boys training. I've heard him. We interviewed them before, actually. Creams in the previous weeks of the grid, so in the fall split, he actually subbed in for scrims and was practicing with them consistently. So it's not just like he's our sub that we decided to pick up just randomly. He's a serious
Right.
sub. He's here to get some games in, and he has chemistry already started with the boys previously in the other split.
I have a lot of admiration for Creams. I'm not gonna lie. With his position on the roster, because you talk about that, like, it's not that often that you find like a capable sub on the team. I feel like a part of that is like, I think we've made the joke in the past that those who can't play commentate, right? And I would argue past that, those who can't commentate sub. And
That's right. That's right.
and past that, it's a little bit the element of having somebody who is willing to stick with the team and give effort and be invested in what is happening and still be doing their best to be playing and performing on the side, right? And it's not just constantly waiting, like I'm just waiting for that other team to be able to pick me up or one of these two players to leave kind of thing. Like I know Kareem's has ambitions of being on a main roster, but I think the level of commitment he has to this roster is something that actually is very standout from any sub position I've ever seen before. They're usually just, again, the guy who isn't commentating kind of thing.
Super agree. Super agree. When you talk to the guys, what's cool is that, when you talk to the guys, they mention Creams. He's not just the afterthought. He's there, like Turtle said. He's played in scrims before. So an important part of this team that actually gets a chance here to play this weekend and or this week. It's 2020. Days don't matter. But like this grid is going to be fun to see him on the field. I see you shaking your head, Dread. Listen.
No, you're right. It was too real 5 me, dude. Like that's what that was right there. That was not like, what are you doing? That was like, that hits way too close to home right now on just how, time in and of itself. I make the joke I exist outside of time and space itself. Like that's what it feels like, man. Just
that's
hanging out
esports.
in the abyss.
Yeah, it's been really fun watching my normie friends kind of understand what it's like to just be kind of time space agnostic. Just like, yes, there is this semblance of days, but like I do more work on Saturday, Sunday at 3 a.m. than I do at 9 to 5 on a
Did
Tuesday.
you just say time space agnostic?
Yeah, I'm like sort of removed from the
My
conversation,
God,
but
that is
I
glorious.
believe that something exists in the world of time and space, but I am not yet convinced that I ascribe to it. That's basically what I'm saying here. Okay, Tuesdays exist, but to me, who knows? Anyway, I can tell you one thing that does exist: my fresh new hoodie.
Oh,
my fresh new hoodie. Yo, I'm not even, if you guys can look up the VOD, I'm not even like simping for the stream. I love this thing. Turtle, stand up and turn around. Stand up and turn around, Turtle.
give us the old 360
Hold
here.
on, I don't want to show you my cheeks real quick. Let me just.
Why not?
You like that? Can you see it?
You can't see it.
Yeah.
There it is. Woo! This looks like
That was just for you. That was just for you. Got you, bro.
this looks like I was laughing. It looks like, do you guys remember who's here? Who is here? An aging emo kid. It looks like Thursday or some like hardcore bands merch, like very un-esports. And I'm all the way here for it. I think it's very, very cool. White balance on the hoodie. So it is a creams color. It is not white. It is creams. And that is an intentional reference from the designer here.
It do be looking white though on the camera, but yes, it is. It's a little creamy, okay, which is the best type of white in my opinion. I think it looks fantastic. Again, it's the nice material. I was going on about this yesterday, okay, and it's nice to see you agree with me on this topic.
I'm envious. I'm just here without the hoodie, and I'm just gonna keep dreaming about what you guys got going on over there.
Is it a limited drop or is it going to be in the store for a while?
I believe it's in the store for a while. So yeah, we're even again giving one out on Twitter. Yesterday we put out a tweet. So if anybody wants an opportunity to win that, go ahead and check out that tweet. And as always, you can buy it in our store. So
hell yeah. Like I said, not even a simp for the stream. I legitimately like I will be wearing this outside of these grid streams. I'm excited. It's dope. Yeah, we've got a video coming up here. We've got Rocket League looming in the distance, but the video, always fun stuff. Doomsy and the squad doing good work. Let's check it out. Hello and welcome back to the grid. It's been way too long. You know me, I'm F. You know Turtle. But look, we've got a new friend.
Oh my. Shout out to Magic on that pass, dude. Look at this pass from Magic. Backward touch like that.
I look at Alpine and Kansas City Pioneers as the future of NA Rocket League. Yes! Oh my god, I loved everything that just happened.
Yeah, this is composure at its finest. He actually turned on the backward. I didn't see that. Magic Bear rotated back. You saw him almost do a 360 to get around into a better position.
Who wants to know what Rogue looked like?
We got the answer now.
This is pretty good.
Bounce straight down. You can't remember it. As we jump into the game here, it's going to be different.
And I think the biggest thing to point out there is oh wow, a nice shot there. But it's not texturized, so really aptly named as we can tell here, chat.
Yeah. Come on.
RT90 FT40.
Wow, what a save. Oh
I
my.
think that's the classic Alpine move with most of their touches. It's always been about keeping the pressure, and I think that does come down to Mystic. And Magic Bear, okay, off the backboard. Where did this come from?
But professional, I don't care if you're doing Rocket League or Opera, the great ones you learn the rules. Magic Bear trying to roll out.
An opportunity here. Percy with an open net. Will he take it?
Oh, yes, sir.
He will, and he does it with the 360 here.
I gave a subtle shout out to Doomsy before, but like a giant one here. He continues to just
That was nuts.
put out good work. I mean, we know Doomsy, like we know his stuff, but one of you guys said he's just evolving at this point, like continuously putting out good stuff. So shout outs to him, embracing and being a part of the Alpine fam here. So good stuff. Let's take a look at what's going on here today. The bracket as is on the grid. Last time around, we dropped some games, but this time I've got some faith that we'll be able to kind of bring things back as we jump on through it. And so, Energy versus Jamal Jabari. That's going to be a tight one. Jamal Jabari, the best team in the world, without a doubt. Coming up and down. Where are we up? We're going up against Space Station.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir. We've got the rematch. This was the first week for us in the group stage. We actually faced Space Station, and we ended up taking the win. Okay, so there's faith. There's confidence in the boys. If you remember back to the other broadcast, that was a great series. It went to game 5, and Alpine, of course, took the dub. Are we going to do it again today? I have hope.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting, whether or not Creams has a significant impact on that or not. I think that's definitely a big curveball here. And I think even on top of that, there's another layer to be considered in the fact that, Space Station Gaming at the last regionals, now that's only one tournament, but was some of the weakest result-wise performances that we have seen from them in quite some time. And the fact that they ended up, I think, overall placement sitting 9th, 10th, 9th through 12th, excuse me. So the fact that they fell to the lower bracket so early and then ended up finding themselves out a little bit early, it'll be interesting to see how they show up today.
I mean, to be fair, this last regional was insane.
Yeah,
I mean, I think a lot of things were, what do we say, outliers, like just a lot of odd things went on this last regional. Yes, chaos. And so, I don't think you're saying this either, Dreadnought, but I'm not here to like, Space Station is still one of the top teams in the world without a doubt.
Absolutely.
But when all of these variables start to come together, you can connect some of these dots. And, Alpine, I think lately have been a little stagnant. I think, a little kind of like plateau, like kind of stuck in the mud for a moment. And that happens to every team. And it's the best time to get stuck in the mud when everybody else is backsliding or stuck as well. So like if Alpine's going to do it, now is the time. But as we kind of look to end this second day of the grid, we're going to jump into game here in a matter of moments. This is where I want to see the guys kind of like getting the ground underneath their wheels, pushing forward and doing things well. With Creams on the roster this time around, might be a way to kind of help out the other two kind of practice and figure things out. So ready, set, go. Space Station, the giant wall in front of us. It's going to be an uphill battle, boys, but I'm here for it.
Yep, and it's going to be a defensive battle. I was looking at the stats, and Jordan and Magic Bear were both top 4 for saves per game in week 1 of the grid, and a lot of those came directly from that SSG series. These guys were hitting every single save they needed to. The defense was holding on, so we're going to need to do the exact same thing because that offensive SSG, it's a 3-headed beast.
And I wonder, talking about the defensive aspects, I feel like, it's a lot easier to bring in a sub for an offensive aspect of the game and not so much from the defensive. So whether or not we see, any double commits or if communication is a challenge at all on the side of Alpine is something that I'm definitely going to keep my eye on specifically when looking at this series.
Where does Creams fit in with the rotation? We didn't even discuss this whenever he was subbing in earlier. Was do we throw Creams up forward to be as aggressive and have Magic Bear and Jordan kind of adapt to his play style, or do they try to force him into that spot that Percy played? Obviously, I think the second option is going to be the most difficult. I would ideally like to see the boys try to wrap around Creams and make sure he's comfortable so that Jordan and Magic Bear can kind of do the work where they need to fill in.
Yeah, I very much agree. I can't help but feel like forcing a player to maybe play at a different pace than they're used to is already hard enough.
Ooh,
oh, great save
goodness.
there. Is there a second one? Just out of grasp there. But to let them play at their comfort level, I feel like is always at your best interest when it is working with a sub or a new player in any capacity early on. Let them do what they feel comfortable, find a way to mold around them, and then refine as time goes on.
And that's sort of what I was getting at with respect to Jordan and Magic Bear being on the squad here, is that like whether or not the result, whether or not we get the W, obviously you always root for the W, but this is really where you can kind of like flex. You introduce Creams and just say, do your thing, bro, and we will fill in around you. One, I think Rocket League is a game that actually lends itself to being able to do that well, as opposed to like more structured, stringent games. Yeah, exactly. Like you can kind of like play amorphously and do that sort of thing, adapt around your squad mate, and then all of a sudden, we know what Jordan Magic Bear can do, and asking them to mold around Creams gives them, it develops a part of their gameplay that they might not always lean to or whatnot. So I love, coach-minded here, I love moments like this where we can kind of look for those changes and exercise those muscles that we don't normally hit.
Field awareness looking superb so far. I think a main part is just having somebody always there for a challenge and making sure we're spaced out. Double commits very probable whenever you've got a new sub in and you're not used to playing. But again, Creams has experience now off the backboard. Magic Bear, the miss from Arsenal.
Oh!
We've got a follow-up from Jordan, but saved by Reddles. That last second flip barely got some contact.
Great pass over, though, even afterwards coming up from Creams, the pressure being sustained. Like, overall, this is pretty good. Obviously, you want to see the goal go, or that shot go in the back of the net, but the fact that it was a very precise shot, really good save coming out from the other side, and that it's not just immediately converting to an SSG control, I think is pretty good signs here for the Alpine squad.
That last point you hit is, that structure. That last point you hit is always what I look at with Alpine, is their ability to provide consistent offensive pressure. Some teams, I look at Envy, are the type that like, maybe not. Some teams are the type that like, they make one good sort of pass play and set up, and if it goes awry, they lose the ball. Alpine tend to like stick to it, and the best teams deny those opportunities. Here, we're down 0-2 versus Space Station, not a great position, but again, looking for those smaller kind of notes that like, all right, that's not a bad look. Being able to keep the ball, 3 successive shots on goal, none of them go in, and that's a whole different story. But again, when up against a team like this, it's about the smaller takeaways, especially with the substitute. Those are things that you're looking for that in game 1 might not convert, but game 2 and 3 might turn around and change things up.
It's looking scary here. Since that last goal, a lot of control's been here from Space Station.
And we have seen some more physical plays too from SSG. Off the backboard now, Jordan getting a little mechanical. I like to see it. I think that there is a bit more passive play style, but this is us, feeling the situation. That's the first game we've got the sub and Creams again. I think that game 2 is where we have to make on mark on this series. Magic Bear still going for some cheeky plays himself. Not too much passing, a lot of solo plays off the backboard. Hopefully we can force out a mistake. But
Okay.
he got the flip reset, but he didn't get any power. I'm not worried.
Right there on the bottom. No sweat there from the bear.
And that's one thing yesterday I thought that definitely was, a significant change in kind of the direction of how the game had been played for Alpine with Magic Bear. Magic was all over the pitch, very much so, compared to, I think he's a rather stand-up player individually in the past, but specifically when looking at all the series yesterday, again, I used the word hustle before because it felt like he was all over the place. And I was hoping we get another version of that today, right? I think especially with Creams, that kind of burden is only put that much heavier on the shoulders of Magic Bear. And then I would like to see if Jordan's able to get a little bit more mechanical. We talked about it yesterday that it felt like by Magic rotating, Jordan suddenly had more opportunities. And again, I think that burdens increase even more for him as well today. So I think those are the two main things that I'm looking for with the squad. And again, kind of sustaining that offensive pressure for the series.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really forget about those ceiling touches as well. Every time that Alpine decided to throw it and bounce it off the top ceiling, that seems to be a consistent play for us to generate some opportunities. But we're going to jump into game 2. Expect, a lot of great things at the beginning, but it's going to be from Reddles. As soon as I say that, the demo, and it doesn't even matter because Reddles is in the midfield.
That was pretty clean.
Yeah. That was, that's an SSG play.
Just the 1, 2, 3, the turnaround there, I believe, was from Arsenal to be able to get that pass off before the demo. Definitely one of the harder challenges, I feel like, to identify. Just purely from getting that 180, 100% on that lip with the wall sometimes can slow down your momentum. And if you lose that challenge in the midfield, that can be rather detrimental. So to have that level of confidence and execution, very clean there from Space Station.
I didn't even see, any panic. It was just pure composure out of, I believe it was typical, passed it out into the middle for Reddle. So to go for that even after the demo had occurred on Arsenal, not panic. Great decision making. Now we've got typical on the wall. The mechanics still coming out from everyone on SSG. What a save from Creams. And it's plays like that show you he can keep up with the fast-paced gameplay that SSG are throwing.
Creams has shown up defensively a number of times, which is really good because Percy, I don't know if the stats line up with this, but anecdotal, Percy is always in position to find the defensive opportunities. He consistently makes these kind of out of his mind saves. If you were to make a defensive highlight reel, it'd be Percy up and down. And with him out, Magic Bear has kind of stepped up a little bit. But I also see Creams here all the time because that's the whole, again, talking about covering for what you're losing or whatnot. It feels like Creams is a defensive player a la Percy, so it's a nice fit here to see Percy, who is off right now celebrating his birthday, guys. That's why he's not here. And when Cream's able to step in, kind of the same type of player, if you will.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job, honestly. And the fact that he's been kept down to just 1 goal so far here, I feel like with how much pressure we have gotten from Space Station, and Typical has basically kept it on the Alpine half the entirety of this game.
Okay.
No way, he half flipped slow enough that's in.
Who was in the midfield? Typical?
Yeah, that was Typical in the midfield after that demo came through, and I believe we didn't get to see it in that replay to double check. I believe for a second he boosted a little bit forward, which that momentum mixed with also not having that boost on the retreat after that half flip was enough to just ensure there's no way to get around that.
When he had a little spurt of boost as well, you could see a little bit even in the replay. And if you have that boost, you're right. He completely ruined his momentum and then ended up half flipping out with no momentum. And you're supposed to use that boost as you're about to end your half flip to increase that speed, get back in time. And I saw him on the field. I was like, there's no way this is rolling in. And lo and behold, it actually ended up slotting in because of that one mistiming of boost.
And I feel like it's that nuance right there that a lot of players do not realize when they play Rocket League. Especially, I mean, you can get all the way up in the ranks. I feel like, probably Diamond Beyond is when you start probably forcefully needing to learn how the small elements of when you can boost relative to your dodge, right? I'm not suggesting by any means any of these players don't know those rules, but realizing how significant they are to whether or not you're going to beat somebody or get the touch in the way that you need really kind of comes to light, and I believe we got a glimpse of it there a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like fundamentals, right? That you can sort of drop here and there. Creams, though, drops it off with teammate. Yeah, okay, all right. I like to see that.
Yeah, he's been taking the ball a lot slower. Look at this control. He takes it into the corner. This is what Rizzo was doing to us yesterday in our series versus G2. Now, the nice transition, that passing play from SSG is so lethal, and that's what leads to an open net. That was such a clean 1-2 pass.
Oh. And the awkward landing there in that top right corner. Once he went for the aerial, realized he couldn't get it, one of two choices have to happen. You either have to wave dash down and have confidence of where he's going to shoot it. Why you don't do that is because he has basically the entire net, right? But the other problem is the only other direction you have is to go reverse, which is going to slow your momentum down and ability to be able to boost down to the ground. And I mean, it's a whole lot of awkward.
Right.
You know, Rocket League talks a lot about trying to make it awkward, but that's kind of the epitome of its showcase there.
Speaking of awkward, it's a bit of a weird ball in the corner, but it gets 50'd out. Reddles now straight to the opposite side. Their clears have been pretty consistent. It's helping keep them a lot of this pressure. I think SSG do that well, is finding those passes as they're going for clears. And they can also go for solo plays too with their incredible 1v1 skill. It's just there's so many elements you have to worry about when you're playing against SSG. So many things to take into account.
Transition game has been routinely the Achilles heel for this Alpine squad. It just seems like every single time, and it's funny because what they're good at, slowing it down, playing successive shots on goal, is sort of the antithesis of, almost like Creams, the transition game. Is that related? How can Alpine fix their transition? I mean, et cetera, et cetera. That's my biggest question watching this team is like, y'all lose in transition, and how does that get fixed?
I mean, it's looking good. We just saw a midfield attempt there. I mean, pay attention at the beginning of this replay. We had a good idea, good vision in the midfield. Jordan sees Creams, but he's just not fast enough, and it was too predictable. That's a fantastic job done by Reddles, and the step ahead that SSG have always been from Alpine, in this series. And that's the type of performance we need. More passes like that, but we need to have the speed to actually take advantage of it.
And it's hard, you know, sometimes it's hard to look at that because I think that there's two elements of that passing play, and too often your average observer looks at that and goes, well, that's all the player in the midfield. They needed to be to that faster, but there can be an equal argument of, you know, there's got to be a delivery before somebody can receive it. And whether or not the delivery is done with the right force, the right accuracy, and everything else there. I'm not suggesting that that pass was necessarily slower than Jordan should have sent it, but he definitely didn't get all the power from that dodge that he had on the wall that he could have. Now, granted, if he hits it with maximum power, maybe Creams is a little bit too far out in that situation, but the passing plays are super, super hard, and I'm just trying to highlight how often I think the receiving end is flamed and judged for their pace at which they make a touch, and when in reality, it is, you know, both halves of the relationship.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I was playing, Garrett G was the one who actually introduced this idea to me, because we're talking about passing and the power behind it. Garrett G had always told me, listen, if you're going to go for a pass to me, because I was usually the guy who would toss it off to him. He would say, if you're going to go for a pass to me, if you're going to try to do anything involving a team play, make sure you hit it with as much power as you can, because either way, it doesn't matter. If you overcommit and you over smack the ball, like in that instance for the midfield challenge, there's no way he can get an instant shot on the net, whoever's challenging in midfield on SSG. Even if it has too much power, if he predicts it, he's not going to get a quality touch himself. Go for the power with the passing, and usually it'll work out.
It's all about momentum. You know, how you receive that ball, how you're going to use the ball after the fact. That's the one thing, you know, in static games, when you compare it to like soccer, for example, where everybody goes to soccer for the comparison, you pass the ball and you trap the ball, and then you kind of work it from there like basketball almost. But it's much more fluid than that. Rocket League's its own sort of world. I guess you can go to hockey where that sort of thing matters, but how you pass is going to translate to how that person shoots the ball after.
Yeah. Jordan and Magic, right? You see the couple of 1-2s starting to look very fluid on the transition game, which we talked about a lot this series. This is, again, match point against SSG. This is a single elimination bracket. Yesterday we had the groups. Right now, if we lose, it's one and done. We're out of this. We go home if we do take an L here in the third game. But things looking great for the boys on Alpine, connecting more passes on the defensive side. Magic right now going for a 50. Doesn't get it, but we've got that pressure.
You can see a moment there where I think, looking at how often they play together kind of came to light, where Magic ends up going for the solo play and Creams was questioning whether or not that was going to be a team pinch opportunity or passing play. Doesn't end up costing them too much, at least not quite yet, but I feel like it's those kind of things that is some of the more subtle differences between playing with the additional roster here. Arsenal didn't maybe get the double touch angle he was hoping for. I really want to see Magic Bear here in Jordan, with everything on the line, 3 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
I want to see them specifically, again, kind of go for those offensive plays together. Not because I don't think Creams is capable of doing them, but as much as that was a trend we saw yesterday, and I want to see that trend exaggerated because of Creams.
Yeah. I mean, they have to step up at this point because, relying on that sub is going to be a frustrating aspect. And now, Magic Bear saving the flip. I like the mechanical side of it. And I don't want to be the stats guy, but I mean, you were mentioning the goals, and for those two to step up. First, he scored 50% of the team's goals against SSG in the first week of the winter split grid. So there's even more responsibility on Magic Bear and Jordan's shoulders.
That's so wild. That's so wild. Like, Percy scores that much.
Creams! Oh, Kevin Creams!
Is it Creams? Look at that! That was a beautiful double touch.
I've never been so proud to have a cream-colored sweatshirt in my entire life. This is
My.
next level. Cream, baby.
How you
Stuff
like
we
it?
needed.
There it is, baby. Oh, man.
And that's like, keep in mind, the only other goal that Alpine has even had in this series has been the Jordan pinch in the back corner that gets over Sipical, who half flips kind of awkwardly.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the first, confident goal.
Doing it again?
Cream's going for a second.
This man's got to. This man. I was about to say this man's got to calm down, but I don't want to see him calm down. He's got to keep going.
No, don't calm down. Real
Jordan
smooth play.
Interesting choices there from Jordan to slow that down as much as he did. Ends up taking a challenge, misses the second one. This could be an opportunity for Space Station as Sipical found that demo. Shotgun through, forces the double.
Ball down a lot. And he'd like to slow it down, which is an interesting phenomenon to me. Like when I first came in, and we were watching the Alpine guys play. Oh, I forget what their name was in the rival series, right?
Affinity?
Yeah. I really liked their slow kind of basketball-esque approach, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, do any teams play like this? And everybody said no. And I was like, can you win like this? And they went no. And Alpine's not number one, but they've made a name for themselves kind of with a slower play style. So watching them kind of innovate off of that and try and play at a higher level while also hang on to their identity has been fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would also make the argument that these guys can play one of the faster styles as well if they decide to, because the mechanics on Alpine is just overflowing. And we haven't really seen too much from Magic Bear Jordan, but instead the sub, the power sub Cream.
And right now he's got, again, the only goal in this game and the only really confident goal coming out from Alpine in the entire series. Double demo, or excuse me, single demo into bump, which caused them, didn't cause, but luckily Alpine saw a missed shot on goal. Definitely a lot of pressure in these last 25 seconds from Space Station. And it seems like here's going to be a break here for Magic.
Who's behind him?
Seconds left.
Okay.
Creams gets an awkward 50.
Not great.
Magic does get it. Forces a double commit, though. The pass out.
Here we go.
Magic burnt so much boost there. Creams doesn't put that down. Okay. You notice Magic Bear was floating behind that, trying to do the late touch to ensure it goes down to 0, but the other half of that coin is that doesn't end at 0, which did end up happening. And then you recognize that that's like probably 30 to 40 boosts minimum that's actually lost in that decision that didn't secure the remainder of that game, which all it takes is one extra volley and a boost steal, and suddenly you find yourself at a tie game there. But I honestly, super like proud and impressed there of Creams. The fact that that again is the most standout goal we've had in the series and pulls away this game to keep us alive in the series is phenomenal.
8 shots on goal, 4 of them from Creams.
Cream's the GOAT. He was the one who got the only goal. And then also he's the one who smacked it down. So not only a clutch shooter, but also being able to show up in the defensive moments. You saw he got that spike in the final second to end it. Now let's see if we can carry that momentum and ride the wave.
Hopefully. I would love to see it come off, you know, on with Creams putting on the backpack. Because I'm with you, Dredd. The only confident goal, that's a great way to say it. Because the other one was just like an okie doke. Like, okay, we take those. We take those, but
yeah. But you don't write mom and dad and tell them about how good you are.
It's not going on the fridge. It's not going on the fridge.
Hey man, you know what? I wrote a letter to my mom every time I had any, even in rank.
Okay. That just displays that you're a better son than everybody in Twitch chat right now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
thank you.
I believe that actually, Eternal.
I'm gonna write all of you a Christmas card whenever I make Grand Champ again. Gotcha.
Dreams
So
with
we'll
an
get one in
opportunity.
like 7 years. Yes.
Love that little maneuver we just got out of Magic. This is the second time Creams has gone up for an air dribble play. Ends up getting that touchdown. 5 boost out from securing the goal himself, but Jordan comes through afterwards. We've got ourselves a lead.
Yeah, Creams gets a little thrown off by the 2-man defense here. Arsenal and Sypical. They both go up for the challenge. They prevent him from going too high for the direct shot, too low for the good double touch angle. And then Jordan follows up as he should. Just, that's good play. That's good old-fashioned play.
Well, in SSG, the defense is falling apart. I mean, look at their positioning for the last goal. They were scrambled. And that's a fantastic sign that what we're doing on the offense with our rotations is putting them in situations where they have no idea how to rotate, how to position themselves, and they can't get that prediction that they were getting so easily in the first 2 games. They don't know what we're passing. They don't know how we're trying to approach their net, and it's working out tremendously.
Wow, Magic Bear with a lot of boost to basically pass it out for SSG. Very awkward touch coming out from him. See if they find a way to get any breathing room here, because it's definitely necessary. And there it is. Magic Bear ends up getting it. Creams does have enough boost to make something happen. Interesting that he didn't end up using that a little bit earlier to try and challenge that first ball.
I think it's also got to be mentioned that Creams, you know, in terms of confidence, must have skyrocketed whenever you hit that double tap. I mean, you're in a game, you're the sub, you want to try and make an impact. You know, a double tap to win the game, that's definitely an impact on the field.
Well, it's, you know, the guys, we speak a lot about how the guys come together, you know, Jordan and Magic Bear, Creams, part of the team, da 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 da. But when you actually take the field, whether you say it or not, you're the sub, know your role, right? And then you do that, and you go, all right, guys, like, you know what? I sang the solo, so we'll get out of my way. Like a little, like, actual, not just feeling good about yourself, but like,
demo?
I can go for these plays. Demo?
That demo.
Yes.
Magic Bear.
Thank you. Thank you, Magic Bear. Dredd, I mentioned to you that Magic Bear always goes for these demos yesterday. Finally, we get a little flavor of that, little taste, which is all we need to help secure a win here in Force Game 5.
Which also, you got to give a huge shout out to that pinch from Jordan. That's not the easiest one to nail. That doesn't become an absolute zoomer. That is way too hard to be able to get a hand of. Oh, a demo play coming through on the other side, forcing a double commit. But it was just a great follow-up to ensure that that actually becomes a goal rather than just a cheeky play from Magic.
Yeah, SSG are spiraling. I mean, they can't really control a lot of this pitch. Typical now off the sidewall. Still the mechanics off. Nice little give and go, but he has no boost. Typical has nothing to work with.
How has the boost management been? That's always something that you kind of have a better eye on than myself, as Typical touched the lead here. Turtle. Has it been pretty much even across the board, or because I mean, why does he wind up with no boost there?
I mean, most of the time it's because you can't control that midfield boost, and with the position of where Sipical was on the field, he was ideally trying to get a midfield boost with his rotations, but he couldn't come up with it. And I think that's because Alpine has been winning a consistent amount of challenges in the midfield to force us
Word.
pushing forward. You know what I mean? It's almost as if you have pressure, you're just gonna dominate on the midfield boosts, and you're entirely in control of that game.
And I was just going to say, talking a little bit about the boost, one major difference in play that we've gotten from game 1 to where we are right now with Creams is Creams was actually very heavy on not taking, oh my goodness, that shot. The fact that Magic wasn't able to get a hand on it. Sorry, I just want to admire this really quickly. What happened here?
That pass from Sipical, I don't think anybody expected him to control it so well off the sidewall. That first touch, I don't know how it was so soft. I'm not sure if you guys saw it. Sipical, whenever you're timing it like that off those sidewall, odds are you're gonna bang it straight across, but it just stayed right above his car to get a second touch.
Yeah, that was very, very nice from them. But all I was going to say, look at Creams, my goodness. It's just that Creams was backing up. He was not taking any movement past the halfway mark on the field unless absolutely basically requested, it seemed like, from the remainder of the roster. He was sitting on those back corner boosts on Alpine's half for a lot of it. And it seems like he's been far more comfortable, obviously, moving out through the rest of the series, and I feel like it's why he's been able to step up.
Yeah, and that was an unfortunate time with the rotation. Creams was going back, and then he didn't end up getting the midfield boost as soon as it spawned, but it doesn't matter. He has gotten his own corner, and SSG falling into the trap a little bit, not able to recover from a few clears. Reynolds goes to the double tap, doesn't get it. Nice attempt there from SSG, but we're all tied up. 30 seconds to go. Match point for SSG still. We're trying to force a game 5.
What?
Magic Bear, he's in position.
Oh, man. That was a goal 7 times out of 8. Beautiful spot there from Magic Bear. Oh, man. I'm cheesing. That was nice looking stuff.
We gotta hold it,
able to get a hand on that to make sure that that ball doesn't go down. Actually gets the pass in transition, not able to get the double tap. Magic Bear should be able to control this enough.
I'm spooked.
Does become an awkward pass for a moment. Arsenal's not letting this go. He sees himself winning the series.
This is too spooky.
Smart play. Smart play. Just ground it. Ground it or you're grounded. That's the rule. All right.
Well done there by Creams being the one to identify that. Jordan's beyond upset that that demo came through.
This is a clear battle. All of these clears just booming across the field. The demo for Magic could open up something. If Reynolds doesn't have a good solo play, which he ended up getting a follow-up, Pacifical was back just in time. Creams, I love the touch there. Just disrupting the control that SSG is going for in their own defensive end.
Yeah, sadly, Jordan was a little bit too low to really make anything happen with that. And now plays coming out here from SSG.
Oh,
what in the heck
my
was that pass? Sipical?
What? And
man,
Reynolds is coming off the back wall. Reynolds is coming all the way across the net, saving his flip. That was something else.
That was just a perfect angle. You know, that really when people ask me about why I'm attracted to Rocket League, I talk about it being a manual input game as opposed to just like, listen, when you're playing fighting games, you have high punch, low punch, and your high punch is my low punch, and we're using the same character, right? Everybody's out here using the Fennec or the Dominant or the Octane, right? We have the same cars, we have the same hitbox, but you get to manually move your car, and hitting that ball with the precise part of the hitbox needed to provide that precise pass is, I use the phrase all the time, poetry in motion. Like that's just it's beautiful, and it sucks that we're on the losing side of it for sure. But that's one that you got to like tip your cap at and be like, all right, you did it. Like you did that one. How to get in front of it? It's not impossible, but all right, man, you did it. So good stuff to Space Station.
I think we need a massive shout out to Creams though. First of all, that was a stellar performance. I think with the sub in, Jordan, Magic Bear started to pop off a little bit towards the end. Magic Bear getting involved with the demos. I think this was a fantastic showing, and it's nice to see them giving that that attempt where Creams is actually being a bit more aggressive. That's what I wanted to see, and that's what we got.
Yeah, it was nice. To be honest, I feel like I guess I don't have in the back of my mind to memorize like every performance we've gotten from Kareem as a sub so far, but I feel like that definitely was the most significant one from him. You know, even against a roster like Space Station to be able to do what he did. So again, I said it at the beginning of the show, always pretty impressed by the demeanor and kind of mentality that we get from Kareem's. But then
Oh,
even
yeah.
his performance capabilities, everything. Super awesome, and you know, I'm a shout out for him. But just if anybody you like watching Kareem's, you're always impressed whenever you see him. He definitely is one of our more prominent streamers
Yeah.
on the roster, so definitely check him out. He always a good time, personality wise. Very bubbly, I would say, is probably the way I would describe him.
Yeah, it's Creams RL on Twitch. So show him some love because he absolutely shows you guys some love, some good stuff coming out here. Uh tight series, definitely not a lie on the ground one. So I am excited as what we got a chance to see some of the positives here from Alpine, but we're gonna cut to a brief break. We'll be right back with the grid after this. Stay tuned. We'll see you in a sec.
None of this seems right. What am I holding on to? If too far to say that we cannot pretend now. Was it never enough to have just everything you want? In your shadow I found a place to hide me from my own thoughts. And if I ever got lost, you find a way to bring me home. And I want something I can hold, that's worth this waiting cold. And I want something that is real, something to make me feel alive.
Welcome back, climbers. F Dot and Turtle here with Creams, the hard carry Creams. What's good, man?
Good
How you
go.
feeling,
Pretty good. What about you guys?
Turtle?
I mean, I'm good. I'm happy right now. I was watching that performance, man. I thought, first of all, you played fantastic. The boys, Magic Bear, Jordan, you guys, they were backing you up insanely well, and you were being aggressive, man. That's what I wanted to see coming out here. Was that something that you plan to do? Be a bit more aggressive on the offensive side, especially with those double taps coming in here.
I was trying to play more aggressive because I knew they always had my backs. Just trying to keep offense more.
That's a big deal here. You know, we talked a little bit about how, you know, as the sub usually on teams, it's kind of like a side role. What's your relationship with the guys? Because it seems like, you know, you're right on in there on the field.
Pretty good. We played with them quite a lot. It's fun. Just try to have fun with it. Yeah.
Right, and that's
There it is.
definitely the best mentality to go for. Just, you know, nothing too stressful. But last time we talked to you, whenever you did get a chance to sub in, you had said that you had gotten a couple of scrims in that week prior to going into the grid because you knew. I'm curious, you know, did you get any practice in for this week's grid?
Other than playing myself, just a little bit of scrimming right before we played.
Right.
But that's it.
Nice. You looked like you came in really well oiled, really well practiced. I mean, the amount of the way you and Jordan and Magic Bear were able to play together was fun. What were comms like when you scored that first what was it, the game winning goal? Yeah, in game number 3. What were comms like when you scored there with the double touch?
To be fair, we were talking about TikTok and how I was going to put it on TikTok later.
Oh, okay. Okay, the branding. Well,
Are you
what's
gonna
the
put it on
TikTok,
TikTok
though?
later?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Okay. Okay, I'm excited for that. You better let us know whenever you post it on TikTok because that's goated branding at its finest, and I'm excited. Also, I gotta ask Creams, how do you feel about having a hoodie the same color as your name? Do you feel represented with the new merch or what?
I like it. It looks nice. It's cool.
Heck yeah,
There it is.
man. It's fun to kind of watch you do your thing out there and get a chance to play with the guys, step up and absolutely not only do you come out as a sub, but you literally win a game for them. So that's gotta feel good, man. You got to put that one on your mantle or whatnot. But hey, it's been a fun day. It's cool watching you get the win here. Unfortunately, not the big W, but you win the game, and like I said, it's off your back. So hell yeah, there for me. Give a shout out. You know, anything you want to say to everybody while you got the time and place.
Check out the Alpine store, I guess. And there you go.
A man
That's
of
all
the
there is to
team.
it. That's all there is to it. We're going to be back here on the 7th of January as well for the next week of Grid. So make sure you stay tuned. Creams, either way, if you're going to sub in, if you're not, we're still going to be excited to see you guys perform because you popped off today, and I'm hyped.
Thank you guys.
I'm hyped as well. Creams, again, thanks for joining us. Shouts to Turtle. Shouts to the merch store. Shouts to you guys. We'll catch you then. What'd you say, Turt? I got to
January
Turt.
7th, my good sir.
January
2021.
7th.
2021.
A new day. Well,
right.
a year. It will be a new day, technically, as well, but a new year. Hopefully, we get to see some good stuff and not some bad stuff. That's my deep philosophical take. So, root for the good stuff, not the bad stuff. We love you. We'll see you January 2nd. Peace and much love to you.